Well, here in Palu City, things are, well, authorities are attempting to get things back to normal. For example, just to my right, there's a team of BRIMOB, they're the specialised Indonesian police that are guarding this destroyed building behind me, the shopping centre, where there are continued reports of looting going on inside there. But beyond Palu, there is still a fairly critical situation, and we got a look at that firsthand today with the first pictures of a flight over the broader disaster zone. So flying out of Palu airport and over some of the huge mud flats that have been caused by that process of liquefaction, which is essentially when the earth is squeezed by the earthquake like a wet sponge, causing mud to bubble up and swallow houses. We saw kilometre after kilometre of this mud and rooftops just pointing out the top of them. We're on a mercy mission with the Indonesian military to a village, I should say, called Kuali in the mountains. So we actually got to fly over many of those villages that we've been hearing about for a long time that have been cut off by landslides, still badly damaged and with no way to get help or help in or out apart from the air. Now, the helicopter landed on the football field where a number of tents had been set up. Children and families ran to the back of the helicopter to receive the bags of aid that had come directly from the President's office. So they were very, very relieved to receive this aid, but indeed there is still a lot more of that work to be done, and many more villages like Kuali that need that help.
David, can you give us an idea of the scale of the aid effort that is underway right now, and are international organisations now mobilising and starting to get out to some of those remote areas?
Well, getting to those remote areas is really, really hard, and because there's not really any significant logistical equipment here to do so, because you really have to get in by air. For example, the town of Sigi, you can only really drive to the outskirts of it, and that is really one of the worst affected places. From there, I'm told you have to either walk in or try to get in by motor scooter or motorbike. So trying to get large volumes of aid and help to the people there is extremely difficult. It is starting to come in to the airport at Palu City. We're told that in fact some Australian aid, an Australian Hercules, may be due to arrive a little later this afternoon with some crucial supplies on board. But it's getting it distributed that seems to be the real challenge. And even the President himself, Joko Widodo, admitted yesterday that they were planning to get some aid to Donggala, but were having some security issues in doing so. That essentially means that they weren't considering that the roads were safe enough. There were too many people who would steal that aid along the way. So yes, still some significant issues getting that aid out to people.
And so just take us through the aid that is coming from foreign governments. Would Indonesia be open to having foreign defence forces helping to distribute aid to these remote areas?
I'm not sure of the details exactly as to what they're prepared to accept in terms of that. They have now allowed foreign military planes to land at Palu and to drop aid off. As for actually flying from Palu in helicopters is what you'd need, well, that's a whole nother question. And the Indonesian government is, you'd have to say, fairly touchy, fairly jumpy about foreigners and particularly foreign media on their soil. They don't like having it if they can avoid it, and that's why there has been something of a delay to accept that help from overseas. But it is now coming. As to whether they can get help from overseas military to distribute it, well, that's a very big question indeed.